Hey everybody, welcome back to the Renatus Invest Edge. My name is Jay Stark. It is my honor, my privilege, and my opportunity to get to welcome you to our call today like I get to do every single week. I want to make sure that you are prepared for the format of this call. First, make sure that you have your note-taking device at the ready so that you can take copious amounts of notes, because remember that knowledge without the intent to act on it is just a really good idea. And if you take notes, then you can remember what actions you want to take in your life and in your business. Also, we are going to have an opportunity to hear from a practitioner from the Renatus family, and he is going to wow you and amaze you, give you tips, tricks, insights, and just an idea of how exactly it is that he is making money in today's real estate landscape. So pay very close attention. Before we hear from our featured guest, though, I'm going to turn it over to our host with the most, an individual who, as his son regarded him just yesterday. If you've ever heard the saying that a rising tide raises all ships, his son literally described him as the tide. Mr. Bob Snyder is the tide that raises every ship that is around him. He loves to empower those individuals that are looking to progress in their lives and in their business. And as you pay attention over the course of the next hour, you're going to feel of his authenticity. So join me in welcoming our host, Mr. Bob Snyder.
Man. Thank you, Jay. You're always so kind to me. You're awesome. And I certainly appreciate that. And it's nice to know that my kids are talking nice about me. That's a beautiful thing. I'll take every bit of, positivity and accolades as I can possibly get. I am thrilled to be with you today because we got a fantastic Renatus Invest Edge planned for you. And the individual that we've got here, man, he's got a story, so just hold on to your seat because we'll introduce him in just a moment. But before we do that, hey, I just want to remind everybody, listen, this is our YouTube channel. We're out here every single week. We're creating new content. We're doing these interviews because we want to help each and every one of you go out there and really build your real estate business and accomplish some things of significance. We get up every single day with a mission and a vision to really help people and to ensure that they are getting the information necessary to move them forward. So the only way that you can get access to it, well, it's right here. So share, like, save, subscribe, all of those different things. If you hit the notification bell, that way, whenever a new episode of the Renatus Invest Edge comes out, well, then you're going to get notified so that you can go in and check it out. And again, take some copious notes, be prepared to go through the material and see what it can do to help inspire you to make more money in real estate. So that's where that's at. But our featured guest today, wow, this is a good one. I'm going to just brag on him a little bit because, and I'm sure that he'll share some of his story with you. It's okay if we duplicate just a little bit, because Mr. Steve Numora has been around our community since day one in the Renatus community. Previous to this, he actually joined me in my other company prior to founding Renatus. And he was one of our best students. Now, best students in which respect? He took it serious. He came to the United States from Japan. He didn't speak a word of English. And when he showed up here, he knew that he needed to make money for his family. He tried a number of different things, which I'm sure Steve will probably share some of that with you. But when he landed on real estate investing, he got involved with us, and he literally had to sit there with the classes, the course material, with an English to Japanese dictionary, or I should say Japanese to English dictionary, and go through the material. And that's how he not only learned about real estate investing, but also learned about the English language. Now, there's another wonderful accolade that he's got because he's done a lot of deals. He's helped a lot of people. And just recently, when we ran in and did a little Chat GPT search and said, hey, you know what? I mean, who are the most influential and the most successful real estate investors based on culture and from Japan? Steve Numora's name came up. I loved that. I thought that was fantastic. As the number one Japanese investor in the United States. A guy that came here homegrown and made it happen. So we're thrilled to have him with us. Steve's been a community member, like I say, since day one, and even into my previous company. He's a seasoned investor. He's done hundreds of real estate transactions. He's going to share with you some of his tips and his tricks so that you guys have a good perspective on what it takes to be in the wonderful world of real estate and make money today. So, Steve Numora, my friend, come on out here. I want to introduce you to the Renatus Nation on the Invest Edge.
Thank you very much. Can I share my PowerPoint right now?
Well, it's good to see you. I can barely hear you.
Yeah, we can barely
We'll see whether
hear
or not
you.
Aaron can turn you up a little bit in the studio.
Yeah. My microphone is very close.
There we go. Now I can hear you. Now I can see you. But I think you're asking for your PowerPoint. Now I can see it.
Okay, perfect.
Or at least I can see a PowerPoint. That might be mine.
That looks like yours.
It's okay. I can go.
Yep, you're good to go, Mr. Nomura.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. It's truly an honor for me to be part of this InvestEdge. All right. Thank you very much once again. Okay, this is my PowerPoint. I can go through this PowerPoint. Anyway, this is my formal introduction, but many of you already knew it. Therefore, I'm going to skip most of it.
Oh, trust me, Steve. There's an awful lot of folks that are on here that have no idea who you are, and we'd love to get them acquainted with you.
All right. Yeah, I have been in this business for 18 years, February 2007. And then, okay, I'm going to skip the middle and the end. So far, I could close over 231. Last 10 days ago, I closed 230 first deals, and I own 81 rentals. I use all kinds of strategies in this real estate investment business. I'm going to share my history in a different way today. This is my 18 years of this business. This overview, of course, we cannot go detailed today, but I hope this overview can give you some kind of good picture of what I've been through for the last 18 years. I started February 2007. Then we already know that at the time, real estate market overheating, and then Lehman Brothers filed bankruptcy, and then we had a huge recession period of 6 years. But actually, that was a golden period for most of the investors. Then, fortunately, I was in this business during this period. I could take full advantage of this period. And in the beginning, I was doing wholesale. This is my strategy for first 3-4 years. Then, but it took 2 years and 5 months to close my first wholesale deal. This is going to speak a little bit later. Then it took 1 year after it took 3 years to close my first rental properties. Okay. Then, but in the end, by the end of 2013, I could own 30 rentals. During that time, I was doing lots of wholesale, and then make some money. And at that time, there's no banks, lenders who can provide a loan to investment properties. Therefore, I have to find out private lenders' money, and then buy and keep it, and then make more money by flipping properties and pay them back. This is what I've been doing. But something dramatically changed in 2014. Around that time, local banks approached me saying, "If we can give you $1 million business line of credit, or we can refinance your portfolio entirely." That was a great blessing for me. And then I was crazy buying more property. And if I buy 3, 4, 5 properties, I refinance all of them at the same time. And I added more. By the end of 2015, I own 50 rentals. It took 8 years to have 50 rentals, but when I reached 50 rentals, I felt that I reached my first level of financial independence. But that is my original goal when I started the business. When I started this business 2007, I was thinking to myself, I was talking to myself, maybe at the time nobody noticed who Steve Numora is, but I was talking to myself, I'm going to make a breakthrough in this business. Maybe it takes 10 years, but I'm going to reach 50 rentals, and then I'm going to come back to the community, and then I'm going to share what I have done. That was my first goal, 2007. Then at the time, I was using buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat. That is my main strategies. After I could have a kind of financial how to say, lenders can provide money to refinance my properties. I could use this path strategy as a main strategy. Then I do regular lease. Also, I started already lease option at the time. Then after I reached 50 rentals, I sold 9 rentals as turnkey rentals. And I could make such a big capital gain at the time. Then 2017, I came back to the community as a regular basis and start sharing what I have done for the last 10 years. Then when I was standing in front of the people sharing what I have done, I just remembered what I talked to myself 10 years ago when I started this business. Then at the time I was talking to myself, as I said, I'm going to make a breakthrough in this business and make a 50 rentals and then coming back to the community. I exactly felt this is exactly what I thought 10 years ago. I was thrilled. I became so emotional at that time. Then after I reached 50 rentals, I stopped. During the period, I flipped a lot, including wholesaling and fix and flipping. I did more than 100 flips. Then, of course, I keep buying for my rentals too. Then after I reach 50 rentals, I start using seller financing subject to sometimes wrap. Of course, if property is such a distressed property, I use cash to buy. Then exit strategy is mainly lease option, little bit regular lease in the land contract. Therefore, this is my main strategies last 5, especially last 7 years after COVID started. Especially this is my main focus. And then since 2 years ago, I set the goal. I'm gonna reach 100 single-family home rental properties. I'm gonna reach the goal by the end of this year. Then after that, I'm gonna start buying more apartment complex. First goal is 400 doors. That's my goal. Okay? As I said, 10 days ago, I bought 231st deal. Okay, this is my journey of 18 years. Okay? And lots of emotional. If I speak like this, I remember many things. And lots of these years are filled with lots of joys, lots of tears, cries, laughs. But going through this 18 years, I always feel that, of course, to create wealth is important, but the business is just a tool. Even look at myself, look at my family members, my sons, everybody. So, especially myself, so appreciative to this opportunity that Renatus Bob Snyder gave to me to start this journey, because as a human being, I feel like before I start this business, when I start this business, I was 48 years old. Right now, I'm 66. And then before this business started, 48 years of my life. But after this business started, I grew a lot, maybe way more than the previous 48 years combined. For business, just a tool to become a person who has lots of sense of responsibility, sense of independent spirit, or a sense of compassion to others. This is what I can describe what business means for me. Today, I'm going to talk about this main strategy I'm using right now. And before I start talking about my main strategy, I had that very important inspiration I got when I started this business. As Bob said, that I couldn't understand English so much, even today. I hope you can understand my perfect broken Japanese English, right? All right. But 18 years ago, it was really terrible, really terrible. Then that was September 2007. That was the third time of we call colleges. I've been to college for 6 days, 3 times. That was it. Huh? Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. So it's interesting,
September.
Steve, because you're talking about your English. I kind of refer to it as Japan English. It's a little bit like Spanglish. Yeah, but we're making it out here, man. And you're just talking about your inspiration, so
Actually,
stay on it.
right. But that one sentence made a lot of money. When I speak, I hope you can understand my perfect broken Japanese English. Instead, I laugh. Okay? Then they open their mind and talk to me. Therefore, I intentionally using this one sentence. I realized that this one sentence works a lot. Anyway, my first third college, I was so discouraged because that was end of 2 days show sale class. Many people so excited, but I was so discouraged because I didn't understand so much about contents. Even I was sitting in the chairs, enduring not to sleep. Okay? Then when I came back to the hotel room, I was talking to myself. I prayed seriously, sincerely. How can I break through in this business? How can I win this game? Then I got some internal voices. That voice says like this: Steve, if you can find motivated sales more than anybody else, you can win this game. Steve, if you can find money more than anybody else, you can win this game. That is aha moment. Then I immediately put the one sentence in the Real Estate Investors Association bulletin board. Then I got the email next day because I wrote, short sale expert can help. Even I don't understand anything about short sale yet. But that is the starting point. I don't understand so much about contents or strategy yet, but I started taking action to find motivators more than anybody else. I tried to find the money more than anybody else. That is the turning point, my first turning point. Then I always, even today, I always feel funding equals freedom. Some people says, if you find a good deal, you can find the money. That's true. At the same time, if you find the money first, you can find the property with the confidence. Therefore, I always try to find the money. Therefore, in my business, 80% of my time is finding properties, finding money. Anything else, I can outsource. Even these days, I'm outsourcing finding properties too. That's the reason I could buy 231 properties so far. I have 3 more property I buy this month. I have 2 more property I buy in July. Those are all under contract. Actually, next property I buy is tomorrow. All right. An internal breakthrough is this. Chad Wade, at the time, our community leader, provided a special workshop. That's on March 13th, 2009. I never, ever forget. This literally changed my life, changed this business. I was so much accusing myself because I couldn't make a breakthrough because my poor English. I thought I don't care so much, but eventually maybe that's a reason. Because people say like this, study English first, call me back. Study English first and call me back. I was so struggled. Therefore, anyway, I did lots of things to learn English too, speak English more naturally, fluently. Even today, maybe you struggle to understand what I'm talking about, but 17 years ago, 18 years ago, it was really terrible. Okay, but I made a breakthrough internally. Language is not the issue. Okay? My background is not the issue. I can succeed in this business. This is aha moment, very, very strongly deep in my mind. I felt it. I can do it. And that is a big, my internal breakthrough. Therefore, 3 months later, I closed my first short sale wholesale. Profit was only $12,000, but that's my big breakthrough. And after that, I start closing very, very constantly. Then 12 months later, I bought my first rental properties. We know that the story of Chinese bamboo. I start feeling that 2 years and 5 months period, that is my necessary period to prepare myself internally first. Then when I became ready, all of a sudden, results start coming back. Okay, This is my introduction. All right. This is my today's main topic. Which strategy works best right now? Okay? Then before I start talking about strategies, I'm gonna share a little bit about important statistics about single-family homes. Okay, in United States, we have 147 million homes, including apartments. The single-family home is 88.68 million. Okay? This is the number of the single-family homes in the United States. Out of 88.68 million homes, okay, almost 40% of single-family home is free and clear. Okay, 35.32 million homes are free and clear. Then 46% of single-family homes, about 41 million homes, are equity rich. Means equity is 50% of the value. This is amazing. All together, these two together, 86% of single-family home in the United States has free and clear or equity rich. Then, if you look at the over-leveraged single-family homes, this is only 2.8%, 1.49 million homes are upside down. This is a very important statistics for me, for investors, because, okay, I'm going to make it a little bit easier to understand this number. If I translate into 10 single-family homes, if you talk 10 owners, 4 homes are free and clear. 5 homes has 50% equity in the house. Then upside down, only 0.28. This is a reality. What I'm talking about is this, okay? If you have a free and clear house, what are you going to use? What kind of strategy are you going to use? Of course, self-financing, land contract. Okay? If you have an equity, and then if you have a loan, what you're going to use? It's subject to purchase, self-financing, land contract combined, okay? Hybrid. Then even there's a property that in pre-foreclosure process. Still, there are lots of property are equity in the house. Therefore, we can use many other strategies to buy those property. Therefore, after COVID is over, end of 2021, COVID is over. Therefore, foreclosure process started more than before, but little by little increased, but not so much. But point is this, I couldn't prepare the slides here, but even many properties started foreclosure process, but not so many property are foreclosed at the auction, or not so many property become REO yet. Why? Because there's equity in the house. That's why we can use this opportunity. Even property is being pre-foreclosure, we can use many other strategies to buy this house. Okay. Therefore, based on this, okay, I'm gonna explain what I'm doing, how I'm doing this business. Okay. Therefore, as I mentioned, pre-foreclosure cases are gradually increasing, but most property has equity. Okay. Then interest rates started going up. We all know that. Right? March, April, maybe May 2022, interest started going up. At one time, end of 2023, like more than 9% once. But right now it went down a little bit, but still expensive. Therefore, we have to use different strategy. That's why I'm gonna share my main 5 strategies right now. Okay? Number 1, subject to purchase, and then minor repairs, and then I do lease or regular lease or lease option. This is number 1. Number 2, okay, hybrid of land contract and subject to. And then I'm gonna do lease option or lease. Number 3, seller financing land contract. If that's a free and clear house, 100% seller financing land contract first. Okay? Then lease or lease option. And number 4, this is a hybrid of traditional financing and the seller financing. Then we can do lease or regular lease or lease option. Then number 5, okay, you're gonna buy distressed properties, and then then value goes up. then put the tenant in the house and refinance, get all your money back, or pay your private lender, hardware lender off. Out of 5, maybe 40-50% of my deals are number 5. Another 40-50% is between number 1 to number 4. Okay. Let's go one by one. Yeah, I have a very limited time, therefore I'm gonna show you one example, or maybe 2 under one strategies. For subject to lease or lease option. Okay, this is the number one strategy. Many investors are focusing on the last 3-4 years because interest went up so high. Therefore, we're gonna buy properties that purchased before 2022 because interest rate is less than 4%, 3%, sometimes 2%, 2.8%. You can take over the mortgage payment, do regular lease option. Yeah, I'm gonna share one or maybe 2 strategies under 2 examples under this. Yeah? It's the 2021, still in the COVID period. Okay? This property is under foreclosure period. Yeah. Owner bought this house in 2025. This is a newly built 2 units building for $179,000. Yeah, she lost her job. She put the tenant in the house on the 2nd floor. That tenant stopped the paying. Therefore, she was seriously in pre-foreclosure station. But fortunately, when she met me, she just got the job. Therefore, I helped her go through loan modification process. Then U.S. Bank approved loan modification for $198,000, 3.3%. Then monthly payment is $1,330. Then what Steve Numora did, okay, took over the mortgage payment. Okay. Loan modification means foreclosure process is over. Okay. I helped her to go through this process, and then she got out of the foreclosure process, and then I just took over the mortgage payment after loan modification is done. All right. Therefore, I purchased this property for exact same amount of modified loan, $198,000. My monthly payment only $1,330. Then I repair a little bit, and then $15,000 investment. Then I put the tenant in the house, $1,800, $1,700, both together, $3,500 in total. Therefore, I had a $2,100 cash flow. Then 10 months later, this is the beauty. 10 months later, I knew that there's a huge equity in the house. Then I refinanced. Value came back $380,000. I took $80,000 cash out. Then even I took 70% of the value. My monthly payment is $1,645 a month. Therefore, I still have a big cash flow even today. Okay. This is a subject to lease option. This is the number one strategy. Therefore, 10 days ago, I closed another deal. Okay. This is very nice property in the very nice area in Chicago, southwest of Chicago. It's called Mount Greenwood. And this owner purchased 3 years ago for $218,000. Then interest rate is 5%. Loan balance $208. She needs some money. I gave her $10,000 move out fee. Then my loan balance is $208. My monthly payment is $1,600, including PITI. Okay. Then this seller added seller friendly walk-in bathtub. It costs $20,000 value, and also she put solar panel system $25,000 value. Yeah, I took over the mortgage payment. Monthly payment $1,600. I just put on the market. Rent is $2,800. Okay, that's a $1,200 cash. It's a subject to. This is a condition when I bought this house. Right now I'm doing little small touch-ups. This is beautiful house. The small, beautiful house in a nice area. Okay. This is the number one strategy. Number 2, hybrid of land contract subject to. They do lease option or lease. Okay. This is one of the examples. Okay, for this under this. Okay, this is a nicely rehabbed house. And this owner bought this house in 2015 for $174,000. This owner kept this house for 8 years. And she met me end of March in 2023. Mortgage balance was $141,000. Interest, look at this interest, 3.75%. Okay? Monthly mortgage payment, $1,300 a month. Then I knew that I have over 10 property in the same area. Therefore, I knew the value is more than $275,000. And when I met her, I asked her, how much is the minimum amount she's going to accept? She said $190,000. $190,000. Instant equity, $85,000. But still, she has $49,000 equity in the house. Right? What I did is this. Okay? I gave her $15,000 for move out fee, part of this equity portion. The remaining $34,000, I asked her to wait for 6 months. The reason is this. Okay? She said yes. She could wait for 6 months. Then I took over the mortgage payment, $1,300 for $141,000 mortgage portion. Okay, my portion of the payment is $1,300. Then this is land contract. I didn't get the deed yet. Okay, then the second closing. Yeah, before I close the second, I put this property on the market to get the lease option tenant buyer. Yeah, immediately, many people came to me and said, apply the $2,300 a month. Option price $260,000. Okay, monthly cash flow. I'm paying only $1,300. The tenant is paying me $2,300. It's a lease option. I don't do anything. Lease option tenant buyer take care of everything by themselves. Okay, 5 months, I got that $1,000 cash for every month. Then lease option fee, non-refundable lease option fee, $9,200. Okay. Then 6 months later, as a promise, I refinanced. Value came back to 80. I took 75%, $210,000. Interest is higher, 8%, but my monthly payment $1,940. Then I pay off the mortgage $141,000. I pay off her equity portion. Then I got the $24,000 cash out. For within first 6 months period, without using any money from my pocket, I made $21,000. If you remember, first one, subject to deal, I didn't use any money. Okay? Eventually, I got 10 months later, I got all my money back. And this one, 6 months, I got all of my money back. Okay? This is the condition when I bought. Very nice to condition. And number 3, seller financing land contract lease option lease. Okay? Then I'm going to give you this example. Okay? This is a 100% free and clear house. Nice condition. Okay? Then owner bought this house for $200,000 7 months before he met me. He decided not to keep the house anymore, but he asked me to pay for $210,000. Okay, $10,000 higher than his purchase price. I said, okay, I'm gonna buy for $210,000 if you're gonna accept my $900 monthly payment to your interest. He said, okay. He accepted. His $900 payment towards principal, 0% interest. And for next 2 years, I paid only principal pay down, $21,000 principal pay down. Then I paid 10% down. Okay? The rent is $2,400. My payment is $900. My rent income $2,400. Therefore, I made $1,500 cash for every month for next 3 years, not 1 year. Then altogether, I made $34,000 for first 3 years. Then after 10 move outs, I invested $200,000, $20,000. I updated. After the value came back $330,000. And I refinanced with 75% LTV, loan to value. Then loan amount $254,000. Then I got the $50,000 cash out. Okay? Right. In this scenario, did I use my money? Nothing. Okay?
So, Steve, can I ask you a quick question while you're running through these examples? How do you find these properties?
That's my one-day workshop.
One-day workshop, okay.
Yeah, that's the key. As I said, how you find the property. Buy property is the easy part. How are we gonna buy? How are we gonna find this? That's the most important part. I think.
And in this day and age, I mean, we've talked a lot about the numbers, and I really loved the numbers that you shared. Based on some of my math, I mean, you're able to see, just how many of them were upside down, where they had under 100, they were upside down 125%, I believe it was. And then there was another group that was just slightly upside down. In other words, there wasn't any equity in them, but that was like another 8.8 million homes that are out there. So there's plenty of opportunity. You just got to be able to know how to look for it, right? And
Exactly.
I think that's probably your secret sauce, is just that, is finding the deal and then being able to structure it so that it works for everybody.
That's right. Exactly. That's exactly right.
So Steve, I'm kind of curious, how long, I mean, you went through your timeline. How long did it take you to where you felt confident to do your first deal?
I think, my case is a little bit exception because of honestly the language issues. Okay, therefore, but still many people have to go through at least 2 to 3 years, okay, to have a very strong confidence in doing this business. When I had the confidence I can stay in this business, I can survive in this business, was okay. I started constantly finding properties. Then I start feeling more confident in myself. I can stay in this business. And I start constantly finding private lenders' money. Then I felt my confidence. I can stay in this business. It took 2 to 3 years at least.
Yeah.
Therefore, as I said, 80% of my time is spending property, spending money. That's even today, I do the same thing.
So with all of that, 2 to 3 years to learn the English language, 2 to 3 years to learn how to find properties, and to feel confident closing your first deal. Now you're on 231. You just finished that. How difficult for you is it to find deals and close on deals now that you've got the experience and the knowledge?
I can do it and sleeping.
I'll bet you can, because I think you're dreaming of houses all night long. Oh, that's perfect.
Right now, before I was doing everything by myself, right? I tried to do I have a 13 different strategies to find the properties. But right now, when I spend more time, I say 80% of my time is to find the property, find the money. Right now, honestly, what I'm doing is to meet people who can find the property for me. Then you can leverage other people's time, other people's human network. That is way more efficient than doing everything by yourself. Therefore, I'm spending lots of time meet wholesalers, meet agents, meet mortgage brokers, meet title company, all kinds of people, not just real estate professionals. You can meet anybody. If you have people, maybe 2,000, 3,000 people, 3,000 people in your cell phone, I'm calling. If I have time, I'm calling one by one and asking them to find the property for me. I can give you $1,000 finder's fee. Okay. Anyway, this kind of things takes time, but eventually you're going to get much more returns.
Right on. Well, and now, I mean, you've got your family involved in your business as well. How has that helped to enrich your life, knowing that your kids are a part of your team?
Yeah, my eldest son is Illinois licensed agent. My second son is Indiana licensed agent. But my eldest son is in charge of my rental properties. He's in charge of property management. Therefore, I did everything by myself for first 10 years. Then I made a huge real estate property management manual by myself. Then I was teaching to my eldest son for years. And right now, still, I'm teaching, I'm working with him, but still, he's getting much, much better than before. My second son is also agent, but he's more practical guy. Therefore, he's doing lots of construction work. Then when I start buying apartment complex, I'm hoping he's going to be in charge of all kind of repair issues, maintenance issues by himself. And by the way, my eldest daughter got married a few months ago. Then I didn't know what her husband is doing. When he came to me for the first time, I asked him, "What are you doing?" He's a contractor.
Oh, perfect.
Well, she knows how to recruit into the family, so that worked out pretty good. One more real estate connection. Okay. So, when you came to the United States from Japan, I mean, what did you envision your life as being when you got here?
Honestly, I have no idea what's going to happen in our life, but I just had some excitement. Even we are in the small apartment in East Coast, we are sleeping the sleeping bags for months. We had nothing. Therefore, we went around. We drove around. Goodwill type stores, and then buy everything for cheap, $10, $20. Then we slept in the sleeping bag on the cheapest mattress. But anyway, I don't know what's going to happen in my life. But when I came to Chicago, that was a kind of turning point. I was asked to manage a Japanese restaurant, and then I had that business experience for almost 3 years, and that was big turning point. But during this period, I started thinking what to do next. Then when I was decided to quit restaurant business, first thing I was taught is real estate. Then I talked with several elders I respect, and they also recommended to do real estate. And I decided, of course, again, I don't know what's going to happen in this business, but I just thought this is the one I'm going to invest in my life, the rest of my life. Then, it was so tough for first 2 years, 3 years, maybe.
I know you've shared with me some of those stories, and I was absolutely blown away. I mean, with you and your wife actually selling flowers at a gas station to make ends meet and to just put food on the table. What did those lessons teach you?
Oh, that was honestly not miserable memory, and just a beautiful memory in my life. Then the most exciting part is, my kids are so small at the time, but still, I brought 4 of them to the Chicago Marathon. And then near the goal, there's many corners. Then I asked each one of my kids, myself, my wife, stand 6 different corners, and then hold 2 big buckets with lots of roses that we sold within a few hours, sold out. We make like a 5,000, 6,000 profit. Anyway, everything is like not just survival purposes. We had of course, we had to survive, but at the same time, I already started this business. Therefore, to make a breakthrough in this business, I had to survive. Therefore, I never thought I'm going to selling products for my entire life. No, just until I make a breakthrough in this business, I have to survive. That's the motivation to do it. And I was showing that kind of spirit to my kids. Therefore, my kids pray every night. When we decide to have a dinner together with my kids, every night, even 30 minutes, we're gonna get together every night. Every night, each kids pray for dinner. And then they always pray like this: Heavenly Father, please protect my father's business. Please protect my father's business. Let him succeed in this business. If you hear this kind of prayer every night, you cannot quit. Therefore, one day, my son sit down with me on the table. Dad, are we poor? Son, we are not poor. We just broke.
That's right, because poor is a state of mind, broke is a temporary condition, right?
Exactly. I'm talking to that kind of things to my kids. We are just temporary situation like this, but we're gonna make a breakthrough and then we're gonna make a breakthrough and reach the goal. That's what I talk to them. Anyway, it was a tough time. Honestly, it was a very tough time. But every time we went to the Super Saturday, that helped me a lot internally. Chad Wade was always inspiration for me. And then he was talking your words too. God's denial, God's delay is not God's denial. He talked to me all the time. And also he was talking about if you are facing the most difficult time, that's the time you can make a breakthrough. And then he showed me the book, 3 Feet from the Goal. That books make me cry all the time.
I love your story, Steve. And I love your resilience. You've got grit. And, grit is defined by perseverance and passion. Yeah. And you've got both in spades. So how has your perseverance and your passion for real estate and all the deals you've done helped your children to develop that same attribute?
When I went through those 2 years and 5 months period in the beginning, until you make a first deal, it was the most difficult time. Honestly, I was always feel that I was standing in the edge of the cliff and then looking down the valley, and I was almost falling into the valley. I'm screaming, I'm crying, I'm dying. But always something happened at the last moment. Then I was talking to my wife, always like this. Yeah, my wife named Teremi-san. This is the most difficult period we have never experienced in our life in the future. Therefore, if we overcome this period, we can overcome any difficulties in the future. That's why we're gonna let's make a breakthrough in this kind of difficult situation. This is how we pray a lot. And Heavenly Father, please wait. I'm gonna make a breakthrough in this business. I know. Yeah, Chadway was telling me, okay, God gave you this kind of situation on purpose. Then I believe so. God is expecting you to become a person who deserves to receive His award. That's why I always pray in the way, and then I endure that period. And then that is a really necessary period for me. Therefore, as I say, we overcame that kind of most difficult situation. Therefore, even of course today, of course these days there's a difficult situation, but I don't feel any difficulties. It is something that we can overcome and go to the next level. Is what I feel.
Steve, the next chapter of your life. I mean, obviously, you just continue to crank out the deals, and you get more and more rentals. You get more and more transactions under your belt. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? You still going to be churning out deals, or are you going to, kind of slow down a little bit and enjoy the good life?
Yeah, I'm 66 years old, and I'm seriously investing myself into this business when I become 70 years old. Therefore, until I become 70, I'm going to reach 100 single-family home by the end of this year. And then I'm going to reach 400 apartment complex. And after that, I'm going to do my best to reduce the debt, then increase my cash flow. And then after that, I'm going to share my experience, knowledge to other people and let them do the same way.
That's what I've always loved about you, Steve, your willingness to give back. You've been a part of this community for, eons of time. I mean, almost 14 and a half years in Renatus, and a few years before that in my previous company. And one thing I've always loved about you is your willingness to share, your willingness to give back, your willingness to inspire others. Your story is just a powerful tribute to what can be done if somebody has got the resilience and the perseverance to just hang in there and do what it takes. There's so many people that quit, so many individuals that quit on their dreams. What made you stick to it?
That is my commitment to myself. I cannot betray myself. I commit to myself. I commit this business to God. Therefore, even here on my wall, this is the commitment I wrote 18 years ago. I watch this paper every day. Therefore, I don't quit.
Every day. So you would say, based on what you just shared, that a commitment to yourself carries a tremendous amount of weight. There's a lot of folks that commit to themselves and then they go, didn't mean it, not really that big of a deal. And but yet you're still here. I admire you. I always have, man. I love you, brother. I can't believe our time has gone so quickly. Jay, I know we might have a few questions that are lingering out there.
We actually don't have any questions. We do have a lot of people who are inspired by your story, Steve, by your passion, especially as you talk about involving the people that you care about, your community, your family, into your business. So many people are just excited to see you grow and are cheering you on right now. It's pretty amazing. Your story continues to inspire, continues to lift, and continues to serve so many people. And honestly, as you talk about how you got started in sleeping bags and with a Japanese English translation dictionary, you remove so many excuses from individuals who don't have nearly the same obstacles to overcome to getting started that you did. So I just wanted to kind of summarize all of these responses that we're getting on the call right now into one comment, which is, you rock, Steve.
Yes, you absolutely do. And Steve, I've got a few announcements that I need to get into in just a moment here, but I'd love for you to just give us one last answer to this question. What do you tell people who say, well, sure, you can be successful in real estate, but it would never work for me? What's your advice?
Oh, you're talking about people who start the business or started the business but feel that business doesn't work?
Individuals who just discount their own ability to succeed in real estate. And they use that as an excuse. They say, well, Steve, obviously you can be successful, but I can't. It would never work for me. What do you tell those people?
For me, any business works, even real estate, not only real estate, any business works, but people fail. Therefore, it's not the kind of business, always, our internal commitment to make a breakthrough in this business or not. That is a more issue, not just a kind of business.
It's the grit, the growth mindset, their internal motivations that make the difference. And you've got it all in spades, Steve. I'm so grateful for you, man. I'm glad you're a part of the community. Thanks for being with us on the Renatus Invest Edge. And for those of you that are out there and you're watching this and you're saying, that is inspiring. We are so blessed to have so many incredible people in our community. And, they all had their first day, their first week, and their first year. They all did their first transaction. And now, look at where they're at. So here's what we would encourage. If you're sitting there, you're a seasoned investor, and you're going, you know what, I'd like to sharpen my skills a little bit. Maybe these guys can help me. Then listen, on your screen, there's a QR code as well as a link. You can contact us either way. You can schedule a free 15-minute consultation with one of our investors and find out whether or not, we can help you in your business. If you're brand spanking new and you're going, I'd kind of like to figure this out just like Steve did, again, go to the link and just book a slot. This is not a sales, call. This is a conversation you can have with one of our investors just to say, what's been your experience? What has this done for you? How has this organization helped you? And then, if there's a good way that we can kind of play together, we would love to do just that. Now, with that said, I've got to give a few announcements because there's a few things coming up that are absolutely pivotal to the success our students get to enjoy, and that is the announcement of another new workbook. We are constantly updating our materials to make sure that it's accurate, it's relevant, it's actionable in today's day and age. So we just finished on the advanced creative acquisitions. This is the day 1 and 2 course. The new workbook for that is now in your back office and is available to you if you're a student of our program. And you know what? We always encourage you to check out the new Renatus reviews. Well, even the old Renatus reviews, because every single one of those has a powerful story that helps to inspire individuals to overcome their history, their background, their upbringing, to overcome the challenges that they have dealt with, and to realize that, there's light at the end of the tunnel. Nate and Becky Lambert are a powerful example of that. I mean, these guys have just cranked it up on the real estate side of the business. And as a matter of fact, we got to get them out here, to be one of our InvestEdge interviews, because they've got a powerful story. And now it's, part of that is documented for you. It's in your back office, so check that out. Now, I've told you in the past, save the dates. I'm going to tell you again, save the dates, because the E3 Renatus Fall Summit is right around the corner. It's coming up October 23rd to the 25th in Salt Lake City. You do not want to miss this. We cover 3 powerful topics. How do you get educated? You get equipped so that you can engage in real estate transactions and go out there and light it up. We've got an all-star cast of instructors. I'm just highlighting a few of them each and every week. But this week we get to brag on Eric Counts. Eric Counts is the president CEO of Credit Nerds. He's an expert on business credit and credit repair. He's the author and a trainer, nationally featured speaker. I love this guy. He is a big, big part of our community, and he makes a difference in people's lives. His mission and his vision really align with mine. It's the difference that he can make in helping individuals overcome their challenges and their predisposition to believing for whatever reason that success comes to other people but not them. We want to reverse that. We want to change that up. He's a powerful speaker. He's going to be there at the E3 Summit as well. And Mitch and Maylee Nelson, well, we've had those two on the InvestEdge a couple of times. They are our newest PAC members. Now, what is a PAC member? That means President's Advisory Council. In other words, Jay and I surround ourselves with incredible people that can really help to act as the voice of the customer so that we are in the know and never out of touch. And Mitch and Maylee do a phenomenal job on that. They're also the co-creators of the First Flip Challenge, Amazon's best-selling authors. They 2024 #1 Renatus income earners on marketing our education because they help us get the word out. They are successful investors. They've done it all sorts of different strategies and all sorts of different ways to go out there and crank it up. They're going to be sharing with you some of their strategies and how they really are capitalizing on real estate in this market today. We've got an all-star cast. I mean, we've got 30 practitioner instructors and financial experts and marketing experts, and it's going to be an incredible 3-day event. You do not want to miss it. This is the E3 Summit. Again, October 23rd to the 25th. Get it on your calendar. We'll be giving you more information about that and telling you in upcoming episodes how you can get registered for that. But I just want to close out by once again thanking Steve for being our guest today, for thanking Jay for always being here to support and to just do such a phenomenal job, introducing this, InvestEdge, as well as keeping me on track. He does it all, man. He does it all. And I just want to remind you of this. It's really simple. If home is where the heart is, the question you ought to be asking is, shouldn't your business be there too? Real estate is a home-based business. It's an opportunity for you to start part-time and work it into a full-time career. We would encourage you to learn what you need to so that you can get educated, equip, and engage. Thanks for joining us. Until next week, well, good day and God bless.